Hi, this is Zach May with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Tuesday, the 21st of May. Starting with the FTSE 100, where ordinarily we'd see these, the top of the range at the top of that rising trend channel from back in 2007, 8,500. We peaked just below that, so there is obviously a risk that that might be the end of the run, but we have a rising trend channel from back in March. Floor of the channel there. Currently around 83.30.40, which is where we were expecting a pullback. Otherwise, probably need an end-of-day close through 84.80 to then give us the big push up to 88.20, which is the top of that channel. But things slightly in the balance, given that you're fighting either the 2007 channel, which is rather more important than the March 2024 channel. Moving on to the DAX, and here you can see that we were hoping and still hope that old resistance will become new support. So 18,600 normally the place where this market could get a 10 out of 10 in terms of finding a stepping stone for a new leg to the upside. Top of the channel there from October as high as 19,400, and that could be next month's or at the end of June's target while we're above 18,600. On the downside, not expecting anything lower than 18,200 if we do break down. That's the floor of the autumn channel and the 50-day moving average. Moving along to the Dow, and here it's all about, or it was all about 40,000. We have recent support there, 39,400, and that's what we're hoping this market will find support. And above that, then there's still the chance of a move to the top of the rising trend channel from September, as high as 41,300 by the end of next month. If there is a rug pull, then the 50-day line, 38,800 is the possible destination there. On to Bitcoin, which I managed to forget yesterday, which is quite an achievement. Here you can see that we're back on the right side of 70,000. We were looking for a retest of the best levels towards 74,000 by the end of this month. If we remained above the 50-day line and that broken March resistance line, that looks like that is possible. Otherwise, the big target here, possibly as soon as the end of next month, up towards 85,000 plus at the top of that rising trend channel from back in October. We can adjust everything according to the way that this market has stretched itself along the 60,000 area, and hopefully will hold above that 50-day line, especially if it starts rising, which hopefully it will do quite soon. On to gold, where there's been lots of excitement too, new record highs, at least intraday. Rising trend channel there from the end of January, looking for 26.10 as soon as the end of next month, while we remain above the floor of the channel, 23.80 now. So that's not a bad risk reward there if the market can deliver. RSI rebounds above neutral 50 over the last, the course of May especially, and that gives this market a good look, especially after that U-shaped turnaround that we've seen. Looks pretty solid there, and also finding support well above the 50-day moving average, 23.06. Worst case at the moment is probably a move back down to the 23.20, 23.30 area, just below previous or the support of last week. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with a couple of relatively obscure plays, but who knows, they may be important. Arecor is a stock I liked yesterday. It was a bear trap, a one-day bear trap Allen reversal. So we had, that's when we were looking at it yesterday when we were in the 140s. Current situation is we've hit our initial target there at 153, and above that looking for best case scenario target as high as £1.80 by the end of next month. But what a beautiful turnaround that was, or has been, with that bear trap island reversal and the bullish divergence there as well. So all the boxes ticked on that one. Another stock which is of interest, Animalcare, which I don't think anybody's really heard of or trades very much, but here we had the big unfilled gap to the upside in February, found support in the middle of the gap there and pushed higher. Old February resistance around 225 has become new support, and above that looking for the top of a rising trend channel from October 2022 as high as £2.70 by the end of next month, or even sooner than that. Nice RSI rebound at neutral 50. We had one of those in April as well, which helped the cause as well, and finding support above the 50-day line ever since the end of January. Moving on to Arc Minerals, where one would have thought with the copper excitement, this stock would be rising much more than it is, and maybe do an Asia Met over the near term. We've got a rising 50-day line now. We've broken recent neckline resistance around 1.9 pence, and we've hit our initial target there at 2 pence above 2, looking for the 200-day moving average area and the upper parallel of that broadening triangle from back in March as high as 2.6 or 2.7 pence by the end of next month. So hopefully ARC will finally have its day, or its month, in the sun, perhaps. On to Cavendish, where it's amazing that this is a turnaround situation, given that we're supposed to think the stock market is absolutely in the bin. But we've hit our first target again there, around 13 pence above 13, looking for 18 by the end of next month, or even sooner. That would fill the gap there from November 2022 as well, the gap down that the shares had. So looking encouraging, especially given the way that this whole rally, well, the recent rally started with a bear trap gap reversal, and we got the 50 and 200-day lines both rising in parallel. Onto a stock which sometimes, well, the last time I looked at it, I had difficulty pronouncing it, but Diacuetics here, vertical move after the unfilled gap to the upside through the 50-day moving average and through the old resistance area 107. We're fast approaching our initial target there, as high as £1.28 above that, looking for the upper parallel of that rising trend channel from the summer, as high as £1.50 by the end of next month. Ideally, we stay on the right side of £1.10 ahead of that move to £1.50. On to a stock which has kept on firing away. IG Design, just about to get into a golden cross, probably a day or two away now. Our second target there was up to £2.24, so we're looking for that over the next day or two, maybe even today if we're lucky. And if you're a fan of the shares and looking for greater glory, then that would be up to the resistance line projection that I've drawn there from the end of 2022, which is currently heading as high as £3. But obviously at the moment that seems a little bit optimistic, but above 225, the possibility of £3 by the end of next month. Onto a stock which I'm pleased is finally on the move, or at least for now is finally on the move, Jersey Oil and Gas. Here we had a bear trap rebound from below the March support there at 145. Managed to break that resistance line there, that falling trend channel from February at 161, and above that we've been looking for up to £1.87. Well, we're looking for that by the end of next month, but it looks as though we'll get that by the end of this month. If you're a fan of the shares and looking for more, and why shouldn't you, then up to £2.10 by the end of next month, which is the upper parallel of the red January resistance line. So plenty to play for there, especially while we're above the £1.70 levels, above 170, 190, and then 210 to look forward to. Moving along to a stock which, well, probably where some angels fear to tread, MusicMagpie, but just a hint here of a turnaround, broadening triangle base, an uptrend line in the RSI window, and a few positive candles there. We're also back above the old April support there at basically 6.25 pence above that on an end of day close basis, looking for up to 8 3/4 by the end of next month, which would also fill that gap there from back in March. But obviously that situation not for widows or orphans. Moving on to Naked Wines, which is not the sort of stock I normally look at, but here we've broken a line of resistance there from February, a red one there around 51 pence. Above that, looking for a best case scenario target as high as 87 pence by the end of next month. Not quite sure what would be the trigger for such a delight, but we have had a bear trap from below the March support there around the 50 pence level, and the RSI pushing above neutral 50 for the first time basically since early March. So possible situation there to look at, especially while we're above 49 pence. Moving along to another winner that we've had here on the Bulletin Board Heroes, Plant Hire. Started off rather slow, but the break of that neckline resistance around 4.1 pence did the trick. Unfilled gap to the upside through the first target there, 5.4 pence, and looking for the second target, 7.6 pence by the end of next month. I suppose we can accelerate that now to the end of this month. Maybe by the end of next month we're up to filling that gap down from September at 9 pence. But the upside value while we're above the 200-day line and the 5.4 pence old target that we had there. Moving on to Powerhouse Energy, we just had some decent news just before, while I was broadcasting or recording this. I think we can have a look at the patent application granting of a British patent application, which is obviously helping the cause. We've had decent consolidation, just bouncing off the floor of that March gap there around 0.87 pence, and finally hoping that we'll get to 1.35, 1.4 pence as a target there. Big picture target here, if everything goes well, is up to 1 3/4 pence by the end of next month, while we hold above that 50-day line just around or just under a penny. On to one of the more obscure situations, science and sport, but seems to be moving very well. We've had a bear trap gap reversal back in January. We've had another gap higher now. Rising 50-day line, rising trend channel there from March last year, and the target up to 28 pence by the end of next month. But a nice step fashion progression, which tends to be seen in the strongest of situations, and we've also got the 50 and 200-day moving averages both rising. Moving along to Tekcapital, which has or is feeling the benefit of MicroSalt, which I will look at in a minute because I've forgotten to look at it earlier in the alphabet. Here we've hit our first target there around 11 pence, above that looking for 15 by the end of next month or even sooner. Obviously you can see the main resistance there from February up to 17 pence, but the key here staying above that 200-day line at 9.5 pence. On to MicroSalt, which has basically hit all the targets that we were looking for. Here you can see that we had the initial trigger there breaking 73 pence. Next target there was 105, and then the final target there up to 129. That leaves us flailing in terms of trying to find the next level up, which will appear in a second. And that would be the upper, well, I suppose it would be the rising trend channel from back in April, and probably along the lines of what I'm drawing there. So heading up to as high as £2 by the end of next month, while we're above the old resistance there at £1.20. So I think that's a fair risk-reward situation from current levels. But it'd be great to see if the shares do actually get up to £2 by the end of next month, given where we listed, I think, around the 40 to 50 pence level back in February. So it'll be another successful IPO on the London stock market. Finishing up with the last two. First one is Tertiary, and here you can see that we're in the run-up to a golden cross, hopefully a week or two away. We're still maintaining our target there at 0.17 by the end of next month. Hopefully it'll be a bit sooner than that, given that we found support above a rising 50 or rising 50 and 200-day moving averages. Stop loss on this, basically an end-of-day close back below 0.1 pence. Finishing off with United Oil and Gas, which after many years is finally getting its act together, which is very pleasing because we've obviously had a rather difficult run. The initial target here up to 0.32, basically filling that gap there up from, or the gap down from February. If you're a fan of the shares, and there might be one or two left, then the next channel, the next target there rather, would be the upper parallel of that triangle, as high as 0.55 by the end of June. Obviously that's quite a challenge there, but first we'll have to try and get to that 0.32 area as the initial target. Upside value while we're above the old late April resistance of 0.21. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.